Hello. Welcome to Jadekind Video Gaming. My name is Adam. I'm here with more Subnautica. And I'm scared. I know I'm getting near the end of the game. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. I don't remember exactly, like, the way I came in versus the way to go out. But I know a wrong turn would leave me a victim to warpers. So making a decision here is crucial. I don't think it's down there, I think it's up here. Just came from it. See. Here? I think this will work. Alright, this is a tunnel. Probably leads out. Okay. Well, here I am. Yep. I hear bad sounds. That smoke that I'm seeing there. I hear... oh! That. Okay. So that's fun. Here's a big hole. Heart is racing really fast. Okay. Okay. Oh, and there's warpers. Great. Don't want anything to do with them. But I am down in the area I need to be in. Okay. Okay, heart racing. Heart racing fast. Like I feel my heart in my chest. It's pounding.
I am what you seek. Want to help you.
Okay. Good. Help me. Let me get in there. Trying to conserve my boost power as much as I can. I just have to get in this door. Did I do it? Okay. Okay. I'm in. Oh. Okay. So, like, I envisioned a lot more...
Local alien broadcast. Warning, vaccine development program terminated. Emperor A fetching project terminated. Live specimens terminated. Evacuate immediately.
So, yeah, I definitely envisioned a lot more, we'll say, stress getting here. Okay, so I got that door up. So at this point, I'm in here, and other than perhaps some annoyance from the little robots, I should be able to enjoy moving around. We're trying to scan you. Alright, so we got some time. We're gonna look through information. This is a fun place with lots of lore. Alien robot. This device is of alien origin, although its design is relatively simple. Purpose. Its low threat level is at odds with the advanced technology apparently available to its designers, suggesting it was intended more to patrol alien facilities and repair damaged infrastructure than to deter invaders. Design. Despite its simple design, this construction is quite elegant in its minimalism. 4 electromagnetic legs allow it to traverse floors, walls, and ceilings with reasonable speed, and appear to be replaceable. Internally, there are a few moving parts, rendering this construction energy efficient and resistant to wear over time. A rechargeable ion-based power reserve ensures it continues to operate. Assessment. Immobilize and return to Altera for mutual profit. Like, even just reading things here is difficult because my heart is still... It's still racing from doing the thing out... Like, from just moving from the one facility to this facility, which was really easy. But I know it didn't have to be easy, and I got really lucky. Ancient Earth Blade. An ancient Earth Blade dating back to the 13th century. Blood samples on the blade match the DNA of 7 separate heads of state from the period. This evidence supports the theory that the aliens are an ancient spaceborne civilization engaged in the surreptitious study of less developed species. Alien carving. This carving is hundreds of thousands of years old and made from an unrecognized natural fiber grown on an unknown planet. It bears striking resemblance to the old Earth yin-yang symbol. 2 competing theories may explain the similarity. 1. Aliens visited Earth prior to the 4th century BC and influenced the development of ancient Chinese philosophy. Or 2. The concept of yin and yang is universal, since yin and yang describes the fundamental interdependency of seemingly opposite forces. It may be a necessary existential understanding in some form in all sufficiently developed civilizations. The tapering of two circles, union, in opposed and infinitesimally small points, the finite, is one logical way to represent this understanding and may have been developed independently by species other than humans. Alien statue. This artifact is unpowered, suggesting it served a ceremonial rather than practical purpose. The pyramid resembles vines spiraling upwards towards the warm blue stone mounted above it. It may represent a plant found on the alien's homeworld, a building of religious import, or even the gravitational pull of their home solar system. Rudimentary tablet. This device shares many similarities with the tablets used to access the alien facilities, although its structure is rather less complex. It may have served a similar purpose, granting security access and storing relevant data, and was thus kept here as a form of legacy support. Circular object. Holographic projector. This device contains network apparatus and a holographic projection unit. It was likely used as a communications relay, capturing and projecting the image of the user to a remote location. There do not appear to be any other devices in range. Oh, it's got some doors. There's more stuff all around, but let's take a break. Check out the doors. There's a lot of those robots walking around. So, lots of places to teleport. I believe that's not the one I want. Again, at this point it's been months since I have seen any of this, but I have some recollections still, of course. Inflow pipe. Peepers entering the containment facility. The pipes drawing water into the containment facility are filled with peepers arriving from the surface. The fish show no signs of distress. The specimens scanned have all consumed high quantities of seeds and organic matter from the surface. Some specimens are beginning to show signs of infection. There was a... outflow pipe. Enzyme host peepers leaving the containment facility. The outflow pipes are filled with peepers traveling back toward the surface. Specimens show no symptoms of infection. All specimens scanned are carrying enzyme 42, which data suggests inhibits the bacterium. Specimens' stomach cavities are otherwise empty, suggesting they may have purged the contents before entering the pipes. Assessment. If peepers have evolved to distribute the enzyme via the pipe network, this may explain part of the mechanism by which life on the planet has survived since the bacterial outbreak. Oh. Data. Ventilation control.
PDA data.
Water flowing to and from the primary containment facility is being automatically controlled independently of other safeguards. Data on the water composition has been recorded. Inflow. Water is being drawn from different biomes around the surface of the planet. The water temperature is considerably lower than the volcanic environment outside the facility, while microorganism and nutrient counts are substantially higher. Oxygen-deprived water is being flooded from the system and recycled back to the surface. So, that, and I don't believe there was anything down here, but we can look more at the facility. Jeepers, creepers, where'd you get those peepers? The surface, they just told us. They got them from the surface. Like, is there anything else to scan? Nope. Just fun roller coaster of peepers. Okay. No, the world building in this game is quite fun. Enough so that as terrifying as much of the game is, it's still... There's also a sense of joy in getting into it and just exploring it. At the point I'm recording this, we're starting to hear a little bit more about Subnautica 2. That'll be fun, although there is Below Zero, which I have and have seen basically nothing but some still images of, maybe a trailer, but like seen very little about. And so whereas this game, as scary as it is, I at least have some sense of knowledge going through to explore. I'm like, I'm nearing the end of this game, and I'm definitely have the thought, the consideration of going into the sequel, the expansion, or however you put it, but definitely concerning. Okay, I think this is the one that's important for us, because what is this here?
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Base 2. So I have now from this teleporter here that leads to the deep facility, I have access to Base 2, which is where I built the launch platform near. So, we now have access to that. Let's see. We have the Ion Cube Fabricator. This device appears to be the origin of the raw material that forms the base of the ion cubes which power smaller alien systems, likely drawing power itself from the main thermal plant. This device may represent an almost limitless source of energy. That is our ultimate goal. Each of these two corners is another teleporter, which may end up being needed depending on what stuff I have and don't have.
This room appears to be a biological archive storing more than 40 indigenous egg specimens in different states of development.
So in here we have all these various eggs of various creatures. And a data terminal.
Integrating new PDA data.
Sea Emperor Leviathan research data. Specimen size categories have been adjusted upward to accommodate the species. Feeding and digestion. Alien research data indicates that despite its size, this species feeds entirely on microorganisms it filters from the water, which themselves depend on a complicated ecosystem of plant and animal life. Reproduction. Large, ovary-like organs are carried in the creature's middle section, suggesting that, like other species on this planet, it produces eggs. However, internal scar tissue indicates probable infertility. Enzyme 42. The Emperor manufactures Enzyme 42 within its stomach cavity to break down its food and will occasionally expel it into the surrounding waters. This substance was found to neutralize the effects of the bacterium, and its presence in the ecosystem today would explain how life on the planet survived the outbreak. It would remain to be explained by what mechanism the enzyme is being delivered. Health. Comparative analysis of size and metabolic rates indicates this specimen captured by the researchers was approximately 1,600 years old. Extensive internal and external scar tissue suggests it had lived well in excess of the peak lifespan of its species. Assessment. While a healthy emperor specimen may have held some potential as a cure, it is unlikely any research subject survives quarantine procedures. It doesn't let us scan any of these eggs, but we've got various eggs. Almost like this claw system that is used to deliver or move them about. Okay. That looks to be all the data to collect from here. We have more of these to look at. An empty case. What's going... Oh, nanobots! Scans show some form of advanced nanobot inside this seemingly empty case. These bots are substantially smaller than any developed within the Federation, and it is not possible to ascertain their exact function. It would, however, be unwise to release them. An unusual box, which is organic matter particulator. This device contains a highly unstable radioactive isotope, likely to destroy all organisms exposed to it. While leaving physical structures intact, although it would function perfectly well as a weapon, it was more likely used to sterilize species for later, spaces for later habitation. Without instructions, it would be unwise to interact with it. Alien technology. The translation device. This device stores linguistic data from over 1,000 different languages. The core of the device may allow alien text to be read and translated. Analysis of the onboard data reveals a number of ancient Earth languages, and the term CHBC Live appears many times in the device's data. Its import is unclear. The device seems to be configured to translate into the designer's language. It will not work the other way around. An alien object. Alien building block. This rock-like object features organic as well as mechanical parts, and there is some genetic and technological crossover with the design of the self-warping constructs encountered elsewhere. It appears to serve no purpose in its current state and is awaiting some kind of activation sequence. Materials such as this may have been a fundamental building block of the aliens' technology or even of the aliens themselves. Crescent artifact. Jerk face. I took almost no damage, but like 1 damage, but the whole screen went thing, and it shocked me. Tracking implant. This construct is emitting a high bandwidth signal consistent with alien transmissions intercepted elsewhere. DNA on the exterior indicates it was once implanted inside one of the life forms indigenous to the planet. Its size suggesting the subject was a Leviathan-class organism. Beyond tracking and broadcasting its location, the implant may also have recorded biological data on the subject. However, this data cannot be retrieved. While I'm here, I should probably consume. Consume. don't know if I would have paid as much attention to how hungry and thirsty I was if not for that little guy attacking me, though. Data terminal. Download data. Enzyme 42
data.
project data. According to translated data logs, the indigenous Leviathan species was found to produce a unique substance referred to as Enzyme 42, which inhibited the symptoms of the Cara bacterial infection in other indigenous organisms. The specimen was captured and contained on a purpose-built habitat for further study. The alien researchers went to great lengths to provide for the life form's environmental needs, including the import of interdependent flora and fauna via an on-site warp gate. However, its health quickly deteriorated. When quarantine was imposed, all warp gates and force fields were sealed. All attempts to develop the enzyme into a vaccine had been unsuccessful. Okay. What do we see in here? Oh. Preserved Sea Emperor fetus. Found preserved in this display case, it was likely a child of the adult specimen contained within the facility. Physiology. Superficial damage to the specimen indicates it was artificially removed from its egg casing. Stunted tissue development suggests the organism expired during the removal process. Tissue samples have been taken from the digestive tract. It appears the aliens were attempting to formulate a cure for the bacterium from enzymes produced in this specimen's digestive system. Without a young, healthy specimen, these efforts were in vain. Is sad. So I guess that would be... Oh, it's going to let me scan something in here. There we go. Preserved egg casing. Sea Emperor egg casing. Shell composition. The shell casing is formed from thick layers of carbon composite, suggesting an extensive gestation period. This Leviathan species may give birth just once per century, perhaps just once in their lifetimes. Shell casing incisions. Precise incisions suggest a laser-based tool was used to cut open the egg casing and forcibly remove the fetus inside prior to full gestation. Analysis. Pressure to develop a bacterial vaccine may have driven the alien researchers to cut open this egg and remove the fetus for study. It is also possible that, removed from its parent and natural habitat, some vital condition for the infant to hatch naturally was not met. Okay. Well. Guess all that... Oh! That's not where the ramp is. Okay. All that explored.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Some ion cubes. Repair tool. It generates more ion cubes. We can see what's back here. What's in this water? Oh my.
Are you here to play Others came here once. They built these walls. They played alone. They bored me. Now they're gone. And instead, we have you. We are curious whether you swim with the current or fight against it as they did.
Oh.
Detecting unusually passive behavioral patterns in nearby predators. Reason unknown.
Okay. Being the case, then, I don't know if I ever scanned like one of these guys.
Environment scans indicate the water here is rich with a rare, plankton-like life form which depends on the organic detritus produced by the ecosystem around it.
And since this episode we're just reading as we go, Bone Shark. A large and powerful predator that lives in small groups and fiercely defends its hunting grounds. Thickly armored exoskeleton suggests defensive adaptation either to larger predators or in-species aggression, marked similarly to the segmented exoskeleton of the sand shark, suggesting a relatively recent common ancestor. Large eyeballs, consistent with high light sensitivity, likely for hunting of luminescent prey in low light environments. Generally slow and unresponsive as a means of energy conservation, they will act with uncompromising speed and aggression against any threat to their territory. Assessment: avoid may be distracted by light sources. Do we have anything else worth? Oh, a hoverfish. Hoverfish, a small, cautious herbivore commonly found in kelp-rich environments. Charge foot pads. 6 unique limb appendages feature charge pads capable of ionizing the surrounding water. The hoverfish uses this ability to maintain its position against the current as it feeds from kelp and lichen. Assessment: edible. There might be other things here worth scanning. I might be able to scan. Can I scan you? No. Oh, very much. Scans indicate this arch was left inactive when the facility was abandoned. It's likely served as an access point to the surface of the planet. It is much too small for the Emperor to pass through, but would accommodate smaller life forms. Yes. Air. And also while we're at it, water. The Sea Emperor's eggs. Shell. Uncommonly strong shell lining, organic growth on the exterior suggests these eggs may be hundreds or thousands of years old. Alien tubes. Alien devices penetrate the outer shell layer, likely designed to supply them with nutrients and to isolate them from the surrounding environment. Amniotic sac. Like many eggs on the planet, these do not contain a nutrient supply which is slowly exhausted by the embryo. Instead, they exist in a form of natural stasis, awaiting appropriate hatching conditions. And fetal organism. There is a high genetic match between these organisms and the Leviathan in the vicinity. They appear to be stable and healthy. It is likely that ideal hatching conditions for the eggs vary considerably from the ideal surviving conditions for the parent. Hatching enzymes. The Emperor's specimen's eggs are attached to some form of incubator. In a normal life cycle, it seems likely that sea emperors would have buried their eggs in shallower waters where different organic materials in the soil would have triggered a hatching response. The incubator suggests the aliens had resorted to developing artificial hatching enzymes, which would stimulate the egg's natural hatching environment, but were unable to discover the formula. With extensive information on the sea emperors themselves, it may still be possible to fabricate an artificial hatching enzyme using indigenous ingredients. However, the only surviving source of that information may be the sea emperor itself. Insert iron.
My young need to hatch, to play outside this place. We have been here so long. The others built a passage to reach the world outside. I asked them for this freedom, but they could not hear me. If you help us, I will give you freely what the others tried in vain to take.
Okay.
With the passage you have opened, my young can leave this place. But first they must feel the time is right and break free of their shells. This is what the others could not force from me. To you, I give the secret willingly.
New blueprint acquired.
Let me just not drowned. Seems like a great idea. I love not. Ooh. Sea Emperor's life cycle. Available biological data suggests has been used to synthesize the effects of an alien. Let me start this again. Available biological data has been used to synthesize the effects of the alien bacterium on the Sea Emperor's natural life cycle. This creature likely lived and moved in small herds around the planet's ocean trenches, coming to the surface to feed off the huge volumes of microorganisms in the shallower waters. Family size would be strictly limited by available food supply. Offspring would likely split off at a young age to form their own herds elsewhere. Given their sparse population, mating and egg-laying was likely infrequent, perhaps a once-in-a-lifetime event. The species likely had a preferred environment for egg-laying. In fact, successful hatching may depend on such conditions. Given the rarity of this event, it is impossible to calculate those conditions precisely. There is no evidence to support the assumption that all members of the species were immune from the alien bacterium. Even if this is so, there is evidence that introduction of the bacterium decimated life on the planet, and this would have had catastrophic effects on the Emperor's food supply and survival rate. The symbiotic relationship between this specimen and other life forms likely developed as a direct result of the bacterial infection. Those life forms which learned to keep the Emperor alive survived with its help. This may explain the vast tracts of lifeless ocean in a rough perimeter around the Emperor's location. Okay, let's get inside my air machine. Then, what do we got going on? Hatching enzymes. Which should be one of the things I need here. Somewhere. I'm not sure where here. Other than...
The plant life in this area is growing outside its normal conditions. Other life forms fertilizing and pruning the vegetation may be offsetting this environmental deficit.
Okay. So I got one of the 5 things I need.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Now, my brain says I may have been collecting things that I recalled being involved with this over time. So I'm like, it's possible that I have more of these somewhere. Activate another teleporter. And back up here. So with that in mind, the first stop that I'm going to go on my little tour of let's find the ingredients we need is the one that I've already been to. this time bringing the prawn along. There we go.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
This base is always chaotic. Do I have anything in here? Okay, apparently that's the one that I already collected from elsewhere. Great. A few random materials. Okay. Now, how about this?
Welcome aboard, Captain. All systems online.
Make way for... It's here. Okay, there's one. So there's the rocket when the time is right. This way returns back to the first base. And I might have some stuff there. I might not, but either way, that's where I'm going. It's nice just to see some daylight for a little bit. Because I know I can go around and collect the other things, but the other things are all places that are a little scary. Not like vastly scary, but a little scary. Let's see, eye stalk seed, ghostweed seed, bulbous shampoo. You're doing just fine there. Oops, nickel, kyanite. Damn. Miscellaneous. Okay. So no, it would appear no, I don't have anything. Okay. People. Consume. Okay. Alright, well, I tried. Looks like the, I guess there's technically a possibility could be some on the sub, but I'm not. I'm just gonna go and deal with the challenges of the other places. Hope not to get eaten by a Leviathan. Finish building that rocket, but at this point I feel like the better goal is to be able to get rid of the bacterium. Down we go. So, we've already opened one of the other gates, so I guess we'll go to that one next. I don't remember where any of the other ones go. This is the only one I paid a huge amount of attention to because it went somewhere safe. And that was like, you know, a big part of like why way back early on I'm like, yes, let's build a base 2 right by this hole. Because that way I'd be able to access things like I just did. So that was deliberate there. But I don't have such facilities like basically any of the others. You jerk face.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
You're not allowed to be in here. There's no water. But if you didn't catch, I went out there. I now have that bulb bush temple. I got what I needed. And I think the fact that I have seen multiple other playthroughs of this where things glitch in and go into these air environments that are not supposed to allow them and get stuck around and cause great harm is a great part of the reason why I am so concerned with having to go collect this stuff now, but that's what I gotta do. Okay. Let's get a couple more of these ion cubes. And choose another door to go through. Storage. Put some of that in here. Open this gate. Now we'll go through. Where am I this time? So I need either it's a ghost something or the... Oh no. So this is one of these scarier ones. Because there is a ghost Leviathan right in here. It's actually an area that's pretty close to our... Like, we have to cut through whenever we have gone up and down for the base that is, like, down below. There it is. Ghost weed. Here we go. Run away. So we did just see him. But yeah, all the trees and stuff in there can be used to help get in that Ghost Leviathan's way. So you stay close to the trees, but still terrifying, and he can glitch inside of here. And then you're like kind of stuck if he ends up in a spot where you have to walk past him. So I'm still rushing to just get out of this area. Good. See, I just got plant data that I ran away from. Let's see. Ghostweed. Now, grows exclusively in deep waters where its pale pigmentation is visible on the fewest wavelengths. Not a whole lot of detail there, I guess. And oh, look at the time. We'll go ahead and we'll call it. And next time we'll come back and we will go get that last ingredient, make the enzyme. I'm not sure how much more involved the process of making the rocket is, so maybe next time is the end, but I can't imagine us having more than 2 more episodes at the most, but it could be next time. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye.